BestBookBits.com presents 50 Words to Your Dreams, Chapter 8, Knowledge. Do you want to know how to manifest your dreams? Do you want to know the simple, straightforward, no bullshit path to take your dream out of your head into reality? This 50-chapter video series titled 50 Words to Your Dreams has the answers. Researched for over 10 years and compiled into video, written and audio format for easy consumption, this series will empower you with the know-how and the tools you need to manifest your dreams into reality. Created by Michael George Knight, the man behind the website bestbookbits.com and the YouTube channel Best Book Bits, this series is a wealth of knowledge condensed down into 50 bite-sized pieces. So without further ado, I bring you Chapter 8 of 50 of the series, 50 Words to Your Dreams, Knowledge. Knowledge is defined as facts, information, and skills acquired through experience or education, the theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. What makes us all unique is our difference in knowledge, skills, and experience. From the day we are born, we start to acquire skills, experience, and knowledge. We learn fast throughout our early years of growth, acquiring and applying knowledge to further our understanding. We reach a point of plateau after we finish our schooling years and settle into jobs with a comfortable know-how and then stop acquiring knowledge and skills. This is the point in life where we think we know all that we need to know to live and sustain a mediocre life. We fall into habits and routines that don't include self-education due to the fact of either hating your schooling years or never finding a passion to pursue with the gaining of knowledge. We are taught the basics at school on how to get a job and live, but not taught the importance of lifelong learning and the positive effects of self-education. We live in a world now where we have access at a click of a button to any answer to any question we can think of. We have access to all the books, all the videos, all the educators, coaches, and teachers out there. We are drowning in information and gasping for knowledge and wisdom. We live in the richest time that has ever existed in regard to drinking from the cup of wisdom, but often fail to take a sip. If you want to change your life for the positive, cultivate this one habit of thirst for knowledge. Thirst for knowledge, and your life will improve by the multitude. How to learn. It is self-evident that times have changed for the better in regards to how we learn. Go back 100 years and understand that most knowledge was gained through the basic schooling system and no more. Fast forward today and understand we have the most impressive thing society has built, the storehouse of endless information and knowledge we have access to through amazing technologies like the computer and our smartphone. You can learn on anything, anytime, and anywhere. You can watch a video, listen to an audiobook, read an ebook, take an online course, follow a YouTube channel, join a Facebook group, and Google anything you wish. We have life so much easier than our predecessors did, and it's time to take learning as a serious study if you want to make your dreams a reality. Who has done what you want? Who do you look up to? Who do you want to be? What do you want to learn? Answer these questions and understand you can study the people who have done what you want and reverse engineer the steps they took to get there. You can study their life and learn the knowledge they acquired and shared. You can dramatically change your life for the better and be the person you want to be by first acquiring the correct knowledge to get you there. You can learn whatever interests you and become an expert in any field you are passionate about. Your opportunities are endless in the pursuit of knowledge. Study, listen, learn, think, absorb, act, and repeat. Study, listen, learn, think, absorb, act, and repeat. Make the best investment in life and invest in yourself. Pursuing knowledge in the attainment of your dreams is a surefire way to reach them. Learning and acting and learning. Rinse and repeat. Always getting better and climbing the ladder to your success through seeking out knowledge and experiences. Quotes on knowledge. 4 levels of learning. Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. A child educated only at school is an uneducated child. A child who reads will be an adult who thinks. A little knowledge that acts is worth indefinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. A person who won't read has no advantage over the one who can't read. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only once. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. A wise man learns by the mistakes of others, a fool by his own. An educated person is not necessarily the one who has the knowledge, but the one who knows where to get the knowledge when needed. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Any person who is educated is one who has learned to get whatever he wants in life without violating the rights of others. Anyone who stops learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Are you reading the books that are going to take you where you want to go in the next 5 years? As for study, did not our wise teacher teach us that learning was of two kinds? The one kind begins the things we learned and knew, and the other begins the training that taught us how to find out what we did not know. As knowledge is acquired, it must be organized and put into use for a definite purpose through practical plans. Knowledge has no value except that which can be gained from its application towards some worthy end. This is one reason why college degrees are not valued more highly. They represent nothing but miscellaneous knowledge. As you improve your inner understanding, you improve your outer results. Bad times have a scientific value. These are occasions a good learner would not miss. Be growth orientated and dedicate yourself to long life learning. Be smart and you won't be pushed around as much. Be vicarious in your learning and ensure that others benefit from your intellectual and monetary wealth. Become self-educated. Standard education will bring you standard results. Check the income figures of those with a standard education and see if that's what you want. If it isn't, if you want more than the average, you must become self-educated. Books are the carriers of civilization. Without books, history is silent, literature is dumb, science is crippled, thought and speculations at a standstill. By learning, you will teach. By teaching, you will learn. Continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. Curiosity and the capacity to learn are vital for achievement. Thus the saying, leaders are readers. Develop multiple skills because we do not lack the capacity. Don't just teach your children to read, teach them to question what they read. Teach them to question everything. Don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. Don't read good books, read the great ones. Don't reinvent the wheel, go to school on other people's experience. Educating yourself does not mean that we were stupid in the first place. It means that you were intelligent enough to know that there is plenty left to learn. Education is more valuable than money in the long run. Education is not the learning of facts. It's rather the training of the mind to think. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education must again revolve around genuine passion and curiosity so that the vital habit of self-education is developed. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writing so that you shall gain easily what others have labored hard for. Every man I meet is my superior in some way. In that, I learn from him. For knowledge doesn't make you successful, but application of knowledge will. Action. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Gather up the lessons of the past and invest them into the future. Genuine wisdom is usually conspicuous through modesty and silence. Hard study and earnest thought, but the results are well worth the effort. He who thinks he knows doesn't know. He who knows that he doesn't know, knows. For in this context, to know is not to know, and not to know is to know. I will study and prepare myself, and someday my chance will come. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. If you feed your mind as often as you feed your stomach, then you'll never have to worry about feeding your stomach or roof over your head or clothes on your back. If you have the fire of knowledge, let others light their candles with it. If you knew better, you would do better. If you search, you shall find. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you want to make money, study the acquisition of wealth. Those who achieve those things don't do it by accident. It's a matter of studying first and practicing second. If you're going to overdose on anything, overdose on reading books. It's one of the greatest natural highs of life. Ignorance is God's prison. Knowing is God's palace. In fact, you only really know something to the degree to which you can really teach it to someone else and have them understand and apply it in their own lives. Information is exploding so fast that anyone who does not read and keep up is rapidly falling behind. Information is just bits of data. Knowledge is putting them together. Wisdom is transcending them. Intelligence becomes sharpened only when you act. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. It is not enough to just read a book or listen to an audio program. You have to practice, drill, and rehearse. You have to practice, drill, and rehearse. It isn't what the book cost, it is what it will cost if you don't read it. It pays to know how to purchase knowledge. It troubles me that we spend years in school learning about the lives of other people, but we devote hardly any time at all to studying ourselves. It's called reading. It's how people instill new software into their brains. It's what's in your head that determines what's in your hands. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Knowledge gained from reading and study represented real value. A good life was one that truly opened the mind. Money alone was worthless. Knowledge is not power, it's potential power. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. Knowledge is treasure, but practice is the key to it. Knowledge is treasure, but practice is the key to it. Knowledge isn't free, you have to pay attention. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens. Knowledge is an ornament in prosperity, a refuge in adversity, and a provision in old age. Learning is not child's play. We cannot learn without pain. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of health. Learning is the beginning of spirituality. Searching and learning is where the miracle process all begins. Life is a classroom. Only those who are willing to be lifelong learners will move to the head of the class. Life itself is your teacher, and you are in a state of constant learning. Make education a continuing, never-ending process. Many who are self-taught far excel the doctors, masters, and bachelors of the most renowned universities. Miss a meal if you have to, but don't miss a book. More the knowledge, less of the ego. Less of the knowledge, more the ego. Most people are doing the best they can, given what they know and understand, including you. If they knew more and were aware of more, they would do things differently. Nature hath given man one tongue, but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. Once a person stops searching for information and knowledge of oneself, ignorance sets in. 1 hour per day of study will put you at the top of your field within 3 years. Within 5 years, you'll be a national authority. In 7 years, you'll be one of the best people in the world at what you do. One way to do something right is to do it wrong. Doing it wrong is a great school for learning. Ordinary people have big TVs. Extraordinary people have big libraries. Overreading could lead you to thinking for yourself. People don't realize how a man's whole life can be changed by one book. Personal development is your springboard to personal excellence. Ongoing, continuous, non-stop personal development literally assures you that there is no limit to what you can accomplish. Personally, I'm always ready to learn, although I do not always like to be taught. Reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. We must not permit anything to stand between us and the book that could change our lives. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Seek the wisdom of ages, but look at the world through the eyes of a child. Self-knowledge is the beginning of self-correction. Self-knowledge is the beginning of self-correction. Sharing wisdom is nothing like giving and receiving. Nothing gets lost, and both get wiser. Smart people learn from their mistakes, but the real sharp ones learn from the mistakes of others. Sometimes in life, your situation will keep repeating itself until you learn your lesson. Successful people in all callings never stop acquiring knowledge related to their major purpose, business, or profession. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. That which one man knows can be taught to others. The beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you. The best news is that you can learn whatever skills you need to be more productive and more effective. The book unread is the one that can't help you. You can't read too many books, but you can read too few. The doorstep to the temple of wisdom is the knowledge of our own ignorance. The first thing education teaches you is to walk alone. The goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the discernment of truth. The key to wisdom is knowing all the right questions. The more you know, the more you understand. The most valuable result of all education is to make you do the things you have to do when you ought to be done, whether you like it or not. It is the first lesson that ought to be learned, and however early a man's training begins, it's probably the last lesson that he learns thoroughly. The movers and shakers of the world are often professional modelers, people who have mastered the art of learning everything they can by following other people's experiences rather than their own. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. The person who doesn't read is no better off than the person who can't read. The person who stops studying merely because he has finished school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity, no matter what may be his calling. The way to success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge. The root of education is bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The saddest aspect of life right now is that science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom. The teacher and the taught together create the learning. In any case, the words in themselves are not important. They are not the truth. They only point to it. The wisdom of the age is like the fixed stars that shine so unchanged that the sailor may depend upon them to steer his course. The words of wisdom have already been written, spoken, published, debated, used and discarded. We must search, find, use, and share the words of wisdom. There are two ways to gather wisdom. One is to learn from your own life. The second is to study the lives of others. These are not books, lumps of lifeless paper, but minds alive on the shelves. To learn, one must pay the price. To read a book for the first time is to make an acquaintance with a new friend. To read it for a second time is to meet an old one. Trying to learn something about everything and everything about something. Turn driving time into learning time with audio learning. We have to be able to recognize that the attainment of knowledge is the highest labor of mankind. What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean. When youth comes to age for advice, he receives the wisdom of years. Wisdom is infinite. There is always more to know, and there is always plenty of room in your brain for more things to learn. Wisdom is mentioned 219 times in the Bible, while the word smart is mentioned not even once. Gain wisdom. You can take a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. You need to create a thirst within people to expand their capacity and skill set. You don't learn to walk by following the rules. You learn by doing and falling over. You want weapons? Go to a library. Books are the best weapons in the world. And that's a wrap on Chapter 8, Knowledge, 50 Words to Your Dreams by Michael George Knight. Let me know your thoughts on Chapter 8, and for personal, free, one-on-one coaching, connect with myself at coaching@bestbookbits.com. For hundreds of video, written, and audio book summaries, check out the website bestbookbits.com and stay tuned for Chapter 9 in the series, Creativity. Thanks for watching and have yourself an amazing day. Take care.